Hey everybody, welcome to the Multifamily Legacy Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Peterson. I've been promising this series, and I'm sorry that it's taken me so long to get to it. We're moving. Like right now, I'm in the middle of closing over $65 million of apartment acquisitions. And so we're going to have some more of these good, bad, and the uglies. We're going to do a 3-part series called The Good, Bad, and Ugly of Sierra Point. This is a new deal that I just bought. And I always find these little episodes are particularly revealing, and this is what most people don't talk about. And it's really the kind of stuff that I think you should know when you're looking at getting into this business. You're going to learn a lot from it, these are typical. This is the typical stuff that really happens in a closing. And what you'll find is, a lot of people that have posted on Facebook, oh, we closed, we did this, it's so successful, we're so great. They forget to tell you about all the drama that can go inside these deals, and that it's not all sunsets and palm trees, my friend. So I like to pull the curtain back and really talk about, we're going to talk about some of the great things. And there's a lot of great things going on with this deal. But there's also a dark side. And there's a dark side, I think, in every stinking deal. And that's just part of it. And if you know more about what can happen and what could go sideways, then I think I'm doing you, the listener, a justice. I'm servicing you in a way that not many podcasts want to tackle, because the truth is most of them want to talk about how great they are and how everything's awesome, and I'm just going to be real. And I think that is why you listen and why you tune in. Now, I do want to make a really neat offer for you guys. Look, we are actually growing our mastermind group. We have about 12 or 15 people in it right now, and we're going to try to look to double our mastermind. I'm not looking for a huge mastermind. I'm looking for a very active mastermind. So we've got 15 great people now, and we want to double that to about 30. And if you are looking for a home, if you're looking for a place that is going to grow you and have some mentorship, really me and all the other people in my group to conversate with, to come and put deals together, to JV, to find capital and partners and all the things that you'll do and need in a multifamily transaction. We want to invite you to be a part of our group. And so I'm going to ask you, if that's you, here's how you're going to do it. You're going to text the word FUEL, 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 to 480-500-1127. That's 480-500-1127, and set up a quick little call with us to talk about what our mastermind is, how it works. We meet 4 times a year. It's a great group of people, and we're all dedicated to apartment investing. And we've got people that have that are fairly new, got their first deal full-time in real estate, to people that have some decent sized portfolios. So somewhere in between, right? So if that's you, if you are already in the multifamily space and you need a place to call home and you want some mentorship and some guidance and some counsel from solid people, I would tell you that our mastermind probably far is far and away one of the best out there. Now, I'll tell you what it's not, though. It's not a bunch of chest beaters. It's not about a bunch of people say, look at me. This is a community about giving. And we do, and they give, and we give, and I give. And so collectively, we are doing some great things, and we are under the Investor Fuel umbrella. So my buddy Mike Hambright, he runs a group called Investor Fuel, and we kind of splintered off and called our group the Cash Flow Group. And it's really been cool because we interact with a lot of people from the single-family real estate world, and then we have our little world on the multifamily side. And I feel like we get some scale because his group's about 150 people, so we get the ability to scale and mingle. And quite frankly, a lot of them are funding a lot of our deals. A lot of the single-family guys become the capital to do these deals. So it really is a neat little network that we've created, and I want to invite you to do that. So sorry to be so long on that, but it really is near and dear to my heart. And I really think that if you're listening right now and you need a place and you need someone that cares, I don't think anybody does it better than we do. I really don't. I don't think anybody will care for you, will talk to you, and you'll get access to me as well. So I think I'm very limited on who I give access to. So if that's you, then you should take me up on it. All right. Now let's just jump right into it real quick. And I got to give a 5-star review though, before I get too far into it. Because I love it when you guys take the time to go to iTunes. It's not easy. It's not, it takes a little minute, right? So I'm just going to read a couple of them. One's from Fowler, the most effective, the real deal with a fantastic podcast and a willingness to share. Thank you very much, right? Thank you. Catherine says, everything you need to know. I found your podcast on iTunes and I really love it. And now it turned out better than I expected. So I think that's what happens. A lot of people, when you come to this podcast, if you're not sharing it right now, you need to share these episodes, especially the one this series, this 3-part series that we're going to talk about now, because it's going to go into detail about how deals work and why and what can happen to possibly derail them, what to expect, and how does it work for you? So let's jump into it. So I got it on my screen a little bit. I'm working from a screen because I've took some notes here on how I wanted to set this up. So Sierra Point Apartments. Sierra Point is in Tucson, Arizona. It's an 84-unit C-class apartment, stucco, flat roofs, 2-story building, built in 1972. Okay, not a new building. It's the kind of building that I love to do, right? I like doing some of the newer stuff as well, but these types of deals can create a lot of upside potential. And so when we first looked at this deal, now I didn't find this deal, one of my students did, and we're going to bring them on the 3rd episode and really listen from their perspective on the deal, and because from their view, going into this first deal of all the things that happened, and so you can hear their roller coaster a little bit, because they had to experience this along with me, and I think having me to guide them was critical, but you'll hear from their point of view as well when we get to that 3rd episode. So you're not going to want to miss that part either. So it's going to be super awesome. Now, so they found this deal, and really, I'm going to let them tell the story of how we found it and how we almost lost it right from the beginning. And it's a great story, but we almost lost it before we even started. But we end up putting this thing under contract, and it was truly an off-market deal. So for everybody right now that's saying, "Oh, you can't find any deals out there," it's too hard, or you're gonna overpay, and all these side excuses, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not looking hard enough, and you're not creating relationship capital. Okay, write that down in your mind. Relationship capital. That, my friends, is the juice that's worth the squeeze. Okay, if you're not building relationship capital with the people you do business, your brokers, your lenders, your attorneys, anybody that's on your team, relationship capital is the currency, my friends. It is the currency that can turn your deal to be award-winning or another stick in the mud. Okay, so we got this deal. It was an off-market deal, and the reason we got it is because we did invest. And my students did. They listened to me. They said, I told them to go find a market. We're going to call my broker. His name's Aaron Mull. I've had him on the show. He's going to give you a list of the local brokers that he knows that's Berkadia reps that are in Tucson. Go out there and go meet them. And that's exactly what they did. And they broke bread and they had conversations. And lo and behold, a deal shows up. And you know what? They got it. We got it under contract. So they got in contact with me and said, Corey, this is our first deal. We want to do it with you. So we put the wheels in motion. Now, when we first looked at this deal, it had a lot of things, I think, going right. Meaning very easily fixable problems. So the property, 2 stories, not been updated probably since the 80s, right? So it didn't look, it just looked a little dated. And the interior's not fresh. White walls, carpet looking horrible, old countertops, cabinets. Just everything looked tired. That'd be the way to put it, tired. And then when you look on the outside of it, the exterior side, just not updated forever. So we got a nice little looking pool. It feels like these are like 90210 buildings, right? Where like there's a nice little pool area and there's like, little doors and a balcony with railing, but it just looks like it's not been touched in ages. It looks overgrown, not kept. The laundry room looks like it's a scene out of New Orleans, Mardi Gras, like all different kind of colors, gold, purple, squares. I mean, it just looked like a carnival in the laundry room. And then there's a one room that was turned into a gym, but it's just decrepit and just nothing's really singing. And it just feels, and then there's the signage, Sierra Point, looks like it's, 60 years old and about ready to fall down. And again, it just looks tired. Now, tired means money, guys. Just to let you know, tired is what we look for. We want tired. Because that can be fixed with money. Money fixes those types of things. Capital improvement, CapEx. Those dollars we can put and invest in this deal and fix the broken stuff. And so we're looking at it saying, hey man, I think there's definitely a need to fix it up. And then we start asking ourselves these types of questions. Well, what if we do fix it up? How much rent growth can we make? In other words, when we do the lift here, are we going to be able to make some big bucks? And I think when you're looking at these types of deals, that is, what you're really asking. And then you got to make the numbers work. So when we first looked at this underwriting, right, and how you do that is you take your T12 and your current rent rolls and you look at, monthly rent rolls. And so here's some of the assumptions that we made on this deal. And it's going to give you a little breakdown, a little flavor for how we kind of put the numbers together. Okay. It's a $7.7 million purchase price. That's what we put under contract for. We're looking at a loan. We're doing a bridge loan that is a 3-year interest only with 2 1-year extensions. So it could be a 5-year process. We really only want to do it in 3. 30% leverage, 30% LTV, or 70% LTV. You got to put 30% down. And then on our assumptions for rent growth, we assumed that we're going to have a 4% increase in year 1, a 10% increase in year 2, and then 4% every year after. Now, 4% every year after in a lot of markets probably doesn't work, but in Tucson and in Phoenix, that number is truly real. And here's what we know. We're in an inflationary period of time right now, and we're probably going to kill our pro forma. We're going to kill it. We're going to blow it out of the water. So the way we've kind of got it modeled is year 1, we're going to lose a little bit of money, right? Because we have some interest. We have interest only for 3 years in a row. But we also plan on doing a lot of renovations. And so when we're doing our first year renovations, we're probably going to have more vacancy than we want, right? Because we're going to be non-renewing a lot of people. We're doing a lot of the lift, a lot of the turns. And that's very typical, guys, to not cash flow. And this is a real, true repositioning play in our eyes, right? And by the way, we raised $3.2 million of capital to do this deal. So we went out there and found equity, private money partners, and we raised $3.2 million. Okay. So our debt service to that $3.2 million roughly at a 6% pref is around $200,000. $200,000 is what we got to pay our investors every year on an annualized basis to hit our pref. And so year one, we're going to be a little bit light, and that's okay because we made sure that and we may or may not be able to be positive cash flow year one. But in year 2 and 3, we start hitting those numbers. And then this is really all about doing a big lift, getting our numbers up, right? Getting new rents in there. And we believe that we can raise our rents almost $125 per door. And I think we'll get $150 when it's all said and done. And it'll keep going up as we go in year 2, year 3. And then we just want our 4% growth after, year 3 plus 4% is all we're looking for. So I think we'll be able to hit that metric pretty good. So the goal then is we're buying this thing for 7.7. We are looking to sell it for around 3.5 when we exit. Now I think we'll sell it for more than 3.5 or 13.5. I'm sorry. 13.5 is what we want to sell it for. Not 3.5, 13.5. Roughly making around a $4 million total profit when we sell it. And that's after we've paid our investors and given them their total return. So to me, this looks like a great little deal. So we're buying a deal for $7.7 million. We're raising $3.2 million. When we exit, we're looking to make between, we'll call it 3.8 and potentially a lot more, maybe 6, right? Could be 6. So overall, we're very happy with the way the numbers look. And guys, listen, you should always buy based on numbers, based on real good, solid data of why a deal makes sense. And I'll say this time and time again, you should always buy fat deals because fat deals can get skinny and everybody wins. Okay, you can still win. You can still make a lot of money. The problem is when you buy a skinny deal and it decides to get skinnier, that's when you start having, those conversations that don't go so well. So find fat deals. And one of the ways this deal is a truly fat deal is that, man, it's in the right location, okay? Location, my friends. Don't fool yourself. It matters. And so Tucson is a great submarket of Arizona, right? You have Phoenix, and then the next biggest one is Tucson. And so we like Tucson a lot. Why? We got a major university. We've got a major base there called Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. Raytheon missiles, like all the missiles that are a lot of the missiles that are created that go on these warplanes are created from Raytheon. They have 9,600 employees, more than the Air Force Base, by the way. Air Force Base has 8,500 employees. The University of Arizona has 10,000 employees. The U.S. Border Patrol is set up in Tucson. So, we have the state of Arizona, Pima County, Freeport McMoran. That is a mining company, has their headquarters there. So, there's a lot of good, solid jobs in Tucson. So it's not just a small metro. It's a pretty large metro. And then you got to look at migration of people. So, and this is a really kind of the story of, I think, Tucson is in its population's growth. Since, really the I'll call it 80s, I mean, we've just been on a trajectory of just an insane amount of population growth. So Arizona's second largest city is growing fast. Tucson has over 1 million in a metro population, and it's risen 6% since 2010, right? The region expects to see the population double to 2 million people over the next 30 years, right? Tucson has a 50% ownership, 50% home ownership rate. It has, so there's a good potential of renters in that market, right? We like rent growth, right? And then here's the most telling is last year, 2020, rents jumped up 7.1%. So there was a 7.1% rent growth in Tucson. And dude, that is where we're probably going to win. And I'm going to thank Joe Biden. Maybe, I don't know. Listen, inflation. If you're not in real estate, you're going to get hurt by inflation, I think. Or if you're not in a inflationary product. And dude, that's why you should be buying property right now. You should be buying some property right now. Because if you're buying it, holding it for any amount of time, you're going to win pretty good. Now, we got to look for, when to exit, right? And be smart about it. But as long as you can cash flow now, you're going to get some big benefits on the inflationary period of rent growth that's going to happen. And right now we have record low interest rates. So I think it's a great time to jump in the marketplace. And so that's what we're doing. And we're doing it pretty big with around $65 million of acquisitions this year. Now, there's always guys that are doing more and doing, lots, bigger projects and stuff like that. And I always say, play at your speed that you like. Guys, I'm not interested in doing more than 3 to 4 projects a year. Right now, this is going to be 4 projects this year. And, we're closing one next month in September, in October, and November. And thank God I'm not closing anything in December because I want to take that month off for myself. And I'm going to. But I will probably ramp it back up, and because, we put something back under contract in January, and we've got a couple deals in the works where I think we'll put another, $60 million, at least $40 million under contract come January. So I'm buying now because I understand the economics and I understand what we can get out of that scenario, and it's really good. So in Sierra Point, we have a budget of around really $700,000, right? We budgeted $540, plus we've got a contingency, and then we added another $250 for OCRAP, right? So in my mind, it's around $700,000 to $800,000 of capex for Sierra Point, and that's a good amount of money for only 84 doors. Now remember, this is a little bit smaller project than I would normally do, but financially, it's in a great market. It makes a lot of sense. And we've got a management company that's close, Asset Living, that's going to be managing this project that is out of Phoenix, right? Their headquarters is based in Phoenix. So that's only an hour and a half drive. I like that. So I've got a great regional management company that has lots of experience close by to really take on the project. So in that aspect, we've got a lot of things going well. And then we're just doing, what I call, we're going to do a rebranding. So Sierra Point name sucks. So we're actually paying a company called Poetic to do a full rebrand, like sign. We want a vertical sign, because the area is gentrifying, and we want to really have a hip, cool, swanky type of apartment complex. We can make that, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to put in, the gray paint, the LVP flooring that looks that darker flooring. We're going to paint the cabinets dark. We're going to put the right types of fixtures, and we're going to make all the lighting and stuff look the same. Even the doorknobs, the hinges. We're going to make sure all that stuff is good. We're going to do a slurry restripe on the parking lot. We're going to paint the doors. We're going we're going to resurface the pool deck. So lots of little things, lots of paint, all the things, and these are really out exterior wise, is like trimming the canopy, making it pop. First, we got to make the outside look good so that we can get them in the office, and then we're going to make the interiors look good so we can sell them forever. That is the playbook, right? And so that's what we're going to do. And when we do that, we're going to be able to raise our rents. And we believe we'll get a 10% increase in year 2. And we're saying year 2, we'll start doing that as we start. And the goal is to, look at our lease up and our renewals and everything that's coming in every month. We have a number of leases that are due. and we're trying to find 3 to 4, and probably 5 units a month. 4 to 5 units a month is where we're wanting to rehab, right? So we can keep crews there full time. Every month they're moving and doing projects, and it's a little slow at first, and then as we start to build steam, it gets faster and faster and faster. And so that's the goal of the team, is to keep on that schedule to get those rents raised up quickly, right? When we do that, it's going to yield a lot of success, and I think we'll probably beat our initial expectations. And that's usually what you want to do, right? Is you put some expectations to your investors, which should be the floor, and then you try to beat it, right? Everybody wants to work with a winner, and so you can show people that you're winning by doing better than what they expected. That is a good way to create raving fans. And so that is the plan with this project, and I see it going exactly the way we are thinking it will now that we own it. So those are all the great things about the project. We're in a great spot. We've got a great location. We have all the right things wrong, and so that just led to us thinking. And when we did our due diligence on this property, there was nothing that was like a smoking gun. So we're feeling really, really good about this deal. Now, that's how every deal starts, okay? And then things start going wrong. And I'll talk about that. That's going to be, you're going to have to listen to tomorrow's episode or next week's episode, because I told you all the good stuff. We've got a great deal that makes a lot of sense. But once you put these things under contract, things start to get a little silly. And we're going to talk about that. All the things, the bad and the ugly is coming up in the next episode. So hopefully, this little setup of, finding the right things wrong, relationship capital, doing your homework, make sure that you're underwriting conservatively. These are the points that I want you to take away from this episode, because finding a great deal happens about once a quarter for me, right? And it should for you as well. Now you gotta kiss a lot of frogs, but you can find good, solid, fat deals if you will set yourself up right, and then work the plan. And that's all my students did. Scott Dilly and Waleska Inglesia, they did that exactly. And they were able to curate a good off-market deal, and they had no experience. None in the multifamily. Now, they're very experienced in the single-family side, but no experience in the multifamily side. So for everybody that says, I can't find something, no, you can find something. You've got to just be willing to do the work and to follow some good, just solid step-by-step instructions. And then don't try to recreate the wheel. That's how I've done it all my life, is just to stay steady Eddie. Guys, if you'll do that, you'll yield great results. So this episode, we're gonna come to end. This one was a little short because the good stuff is really easy to talk about. In next week's episode on the good, bad, and the ugly of Sierra Point, we're going to really talk about the bad and the ugly. And even though it's ugly and the things that went kind of sideways, we still own this deal, guys. And so we're just going to talk about the things that can happen while you're under contract, that sometimes you just got to scratch your head and you're like, are you kidding me? Is this what goes on? So we'll go more into that on the next episode. So we'll see you guys there. Before we do that, remember, your mind is the most powerful thing that you have. The saddest thing that I see time and time again is when people don't engage themselves and their brain fully. They don't have it fully engaged. And I'm telling you, what a waste. What an absolute waste, because your mind can help give you everything. And I mean everything that you ever wanted. You've just got to set it free, and you've got to tell yourself daily that you're worth it. If you believe it, I promise you, you can achieve it, and your paradise is possible.